You went to bed at your usual time, heading to your room to get some sleep. You lay down on the bed, stretching out to find some comfort and relaxation. Gradually, your brain begins to slow down its activity, and your eye started to close quietly as you drifted off to sleep. And then, lo and behold, you found yourself falling. Whether you found yourself descending stairs, or your leg slipped, or perhaps the entire staircase vanished from beneath you, or you found yourself falling from the top of a tall building, or in another completely different scenario, you found yourself walking safely, only to suddenly discover a lion behind you. At that moment, you stopped thinking, your heart raced, and you swiftly jumped up, running while it chased you. Suddenly, without warning, you found yourself falling into a deep pit. What is strange is that the pit seemed endless, as if it's extended indefinitely. What is even stranger is that sometimes you enter this falling part without any preamble, meaning no stairs, no building, no lion or pit. You've barely even entered the dream, and you're already falling. You might find yourself falling so suddenly and continuously that you don't even remember the point or the place you fell from, or why you are falling in the first place, or who's chasing you. You're completely confused about everything. Can somebody explain to me what is going on?
Somebody! Anybody! Help!
Fortunately, all of this ends quickly as soon as you open your eyes and look around. Yes, you might feel annoyed and scared, but ultimately you realize that nothing is actually threatening your life. No lion, no pets, you are safe and you are okay. Just take a deep breath. Hi, I am Fatim and welcome to Let's Ask a channel. In this video, we will be answering the questions: why do we feel like we are falling when we are asleep? But before we start, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And now, let's start. The sensation of falling while asleep is a familiar experience shared by most people. It's usually accompanied by body twitch that eventually wakes you up. This twitch is medically known as hypnic jerk, and it is an involuntary spasm that occurs during the transition from wakefulness to sleep. During this phase, a person may feel like they are falling from a high place to a known location. This sensation usually occurs in the early stage of sleep, known as a hypnagogic state, which is the period between the wakefulness and deep sleep. What is strange is that this stage isn't suitable for dreaming. It is not a designed dreaming state like other regular dreams. What you experience during the falling isn't a normal dream like the ones everyone has. It is more like a special state where your mind tricks you into thinking you are falling from a height to wake you up. It is more like lucid dreams or hallucinations. In this state, if you are one of the people who have experienced falling during sleep, let me assure you that it is normal and not dangerous. The phenomena of falling asleep is a very natural occurrence experienced by most humans. According to statistics, 70% of people have experienced falling at least once in their lives, and 10% experience it regularly. But what is happening? And what is the reason behind this falling? It is said that the sensation of falling asleep was very useful for humans in the ancient times, because it served as a way to ensure that the surroundings were safe and suitable for sleep. In those days, humans were quite adventurous, and it wasn't uncommon to find someone sleeping on a tree branch or on the edge of a cliff, where they could easily fall. So, the idea of feeling like you are falling during sleep was very useful to protect them from danger. Whenever they felt like they were falling, their mind would wake them up. Now, apart from whether this phenomena is useful or not, and away from the trees and the cliffs, nowadays we are asleep on spring mattresses and cover ourselves with fiber blankets, and everything seems safe. So, why do we still experience falling during sleep? Well, according to sleep experts, the reason for this phenomena is that the muscle in the body begins to relax and transit from the state of tension to state of relaxation and sleep suddenly. When the brain receives the signals, sometimes it misinterprets them as indication of falling, because they resemble the signals the body might emit if it were experiencing a real fall. Therefore, the mind starts to visualize to sleeping person that they were falling from a height to wake them up. Now let's move on to another question. Why do the muscle suddenly relax? The reason for this is when a person exerts significant physical or mental effort before sleep, or has been tense for days, or even has consumed a large amount of caffeine. Let me explain this scenario. Our friend Ted decided to play sports at night, lifting weights to distract himself from his old fiancée, Tiffany. That caused him a lot of mental pain. In addition to drinking a large cup of coffee and staying awake since yesterday, despite all this, he decided to sleep. In this case, Ted is very qualified to feel the sensation of falling during sleep, because as soon as he lays down on the bed and tries to sleep, his muscle will relax immediately. They have been under a lot of strain due to the sports he was playing. Plus, there is the issue with his fiancée, which has affected him mentally. So, his muscles literally hungry for sleep. Or, in other words, long for rest and relaxation away from exertion. So, as soon as the body settles on the bed, his muscles will relax instantly and unusually. At that moment, when Ted mind receives these unexpected relaxation signals, which are also unusual signals, it will think for a moment that they are similar to the signal the body emits when falling from above. Therefore, his mind will act immediately, issuing a command to specialized nervous cell, telling them that we must immediately save the leader Ted from falling. It will declare a state of emergency throughout the body, preparing Ted's body fully under the assumption that he is falling downwards, whether mentally through the dreams where he sees himself falling, or physically through the movement of his leg and the spasms that occur in his body in attempt to regain balance and save the leader Ted from falling. But as soon as Ted wakes up suddenly from sleep, he will find himself on the bed safe and sound with nothing threatening them. And even though his mind was playing tricks on him, the next time he experiences this feeling up and waking up, he will remember that the reason for it all tonight was that his muscles were relaxing, nothing more. Despite the fact that the phenomena of falling asleep is considered natural and familiar among people, and most humans have experienced it, interpreting it scientifically or medically, some still insist on taking a completely different path, relying entirely on myth and superstitions. Sometimes you'll find someone who hears about the phenomena for the first time from their friends and start confidently explaining theories and cosmic conspiracies related to it. What's even stranger is that they remain steadfast in their beliefs. For instance, you might encounter someone promoting the idea that the tremor you experience is because your counterpart from another world suddenly decided to impress you or merge with you. And since your body senses the tremor or the feeling of falling, It's due to the diffusion with counterpart. Another perspective suggests that the sensation of falling during sleep is the soul returns to the body, considering that the soul descends rapidly from above to below. When it's happened, the mind imagines that it was falling from a height. Another interpretation believes that there is something lurking beside you on the bed, observing you and wanting to harm you. Therefore, your mind tries to wake you up immediately to save you from the impending disaster by tracking you into thinking that you are falling into a pit. There are countless stories spread across blogs and social media about such experience, each narrated from the individual's perspective. However, there are usually baseless claims lacking any evidence. Ultimately, these tremors or feeling of falling don't pose any real danger. Doctors advise that excessive consumption of caffeine, stimulants, strenuous physical activity at night, and sleep deprivative can all increase the occurrence of these tremors. If this sensation bothers you and you want to get rid of them, you should reduce caffeine intake, find ways to relax, relieve psychological stress, and regulate your sleep schedule. But if unfortunately you are one of few people who experience these tremors continuously to extent that they prevent you from sleeping, even if you have sufficient rest before, then it's necessary to consult a specialist. So today we have answered the question, why do we feel like we are falling when we are asleep? For those who are new to the channel, this channel answers questions that may cross your mind while laying in bed in the middle of the night. As usual, if you have any questions bothering you in the middle of the night, feel free to write them in the comments below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For those who are watching us for the first time, subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive our videos promptly. And until the next time, sleep tight.